absolute best mirror into the culture. It's like a time machine. Like you could read a history book and you can kind of get a rough understanding of how people behaved back then.
Yeah.
But you still think of them in a current context. You think of them like today. Right. But you watch a film, watch a James Cagney film, and you're like, whoa, man, this is a different world.
Yeah.
Nobody knew shit.
Right.
Nobody had any idea what was going on in the world. You got all your news from the newspaper. So these dudes who own the newspapers essentially control the narrative for the entire world.
Absolutely.
And it's people behave strange.
Yeah.
Open domestic violence. Domestic violence is normal.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then she would kiss him, and it was crazy.
Oh, right.
Nuts.
Well, my wife, who was raised in the Bay Area, around San Francisco, Marin County there, when I first told her what my dad did to me, she was like, oh, my God, that's like, and honestly, that's what everybody's dad did. It was like, if he was working graveyard shift and you started making a bunch of damn noise at noon, you got your ass beat with a belt. And she couldn't believe it. I said, oh, no, it was like every day almost. And, not that it was good, but it was just part of our life. We didn't know any better. We really didn't.
No one knew any better, and we're only figuring it out now.
Yeah.
It was like canceling people retroactively for stuff they did in the 80s. Like, okay, that's a different world. You weren't even alive then. That's a different world.
Yeah.
When people came, you got to realize, your parents, think about it this way. People were coming over on a boat from other countries with no knowledge of what was over here. They just got told, oh, there's jobs in America, and you got on a boat from fucking Europe. Like, my grandparents came over here in the 1920s. Yeah. They had no idea. They come over here, and there's a bunch of people that also did the same thing, and they're basically just savages. They're basically one or two steps above absolute savages. They're savages with metal. They've got metal and rubber.
All right.
And, they're raising kids. And, of course, they're going to raise kids in a rough way because the world is rough.
Yeah.
It's like everybody got beat up. It was normal. Bullying was not – there was no anti-bullying campaigns.
God, no.
You just had to fight for yourself. That's just how it is. This is life. This prepares you for life. It sucks, but this is life.
Absolutely. We had guys in our town that you just stayed away from.
Yeah.
I mean, guys who were, relatively the same age. And I lucked out because I was a skinny, long-haired little hippie and playing in bands and stuff. And for some reason, I always liked hanging out with, the guys who are a few years older than me. They had more fun than we did. And so I remember the first time I ever had a drink of beer, my Uncle Don, he drank Schlitz. And this is back when you had to have a church key and you opened both sides of it.
Oh, wow.
And he would pour it in our glasses. Like I said, we were pretty poor. We all lived at my grandmother's house. And it was the jelly jars. When you finished the jelly, that became the glasses we drank out of. And he would have a jelly jar glass of beer, and it just looked like apple juice to me. And I would always ask him, I'm 6 years old. I'd say, hey, can I have some of that? And he goes, you don't need any of this. Well, finally one day he goes, yeah, here, have a drink. Tastes like apple juice. And I was like, oh, God almighty. And but the first time I got drunk in my life was on Boone's Farm wine, apple wine. And these two guys, Gary and Eddie were their names, and they were just trouble. And Gary had a 64 GTO. That's probably where I got that thing from. But, we rolled it one night. No seatbelts. We never even thought about a seatbelt. And so they took me to the Dairy Queen, and we were going to, get a hamburger or whatever it was. Well, they ended up hanging me out the window, just puking all over the Dairy Queen parking lot, because I drank an entire bottle of this and never been drunk in my life. I was 12, 13. And so these guys, I was fascinated by them. They were all James Dean and Elvis Presley to me, right? And there were a few guys in town that everybody knew not to mess with at all. It's like they will literally pull your eyeballs out of the sockets. They kind of consider me a mascot, and they all protected me. So the other guys who were, pricks or whatever, if one of them messed with me, there was a guy named Calvin, a guy named Billy Bob, actually, who was probably 10 years older than me, and a guy named Harry, and whose family came over from somewhere. They were like, from the Czech Republic or somewhere, but they grew up here, so they didn't sound like they were from someplace else. Harry was about 5'6", and stocky, and there was this dude who was just mean to everybody. Excuse me, but somewhere in between our age, when we're teenagers, 17, 18, and Harry and Billy Bob and Calvin and those guys, they were like 30. And there were these other guys who were the mean guys in town who were in between those ages. And they were the real problem because they were just assholes. The other guys were cool as long as you didn't mess with them. One night, this guy, two of them were both named Steve, who were the real pricks. And one of the Steves got me by my hair and dragged me around, beat me up a little bit, and I was a fighter. I wasn't bad. I fought a lot of guys. I quit fighting in my early 20s, but back then, it was just a way of life. And this cat roughed me up, a lot bigger than me. And Harry found out about it. Well, we had a bonfire party out at a guy's trailer home that night. And so this cat that had beat me up showed up, and Harry had heard about it. And Harry's, I'm like Harry's little mascot guy, right? So the guy gets out of his car and comes over there. Now, we got a big bonfire going on, right? The guy comes over. Harry didn't say a word to him. He walked up to him. This guy's like a foot taller than Harry. Harry reached up, got him by the hair, hit him one time, broke his jaw, and threw him in the bonfire.
Whoa.
And a bunch of people had to put him out. I mean, this was just like a Friday night in Arkansas.